Hi everyone. You can see me all right. Oh, there we go. Hi. So thank you all for coming in tonight. I know we got our crew here in Irvine, California. We have a lot of people up in Los Angeles, and we have a lot of awesome people here remotely through Zoom as well. My name is Alex Estrella, and I'll be one of the hosts for the evening. If you've been watching for a while, I'm the director of Trial by Fire, the film about inmate firefighters. I was in that reel. And I'm also the director and writer of Extraordinary Character, the film about the neurodivergent theater troupe in that reel. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed that. We have an awesome evening for you tonight. We have some really special guests, some of whom I've known for a while and are really awesome and are really excited to meet you guys. And I'm excited to, hear from you guys as well. We got a really great agenda scheduled. Judy's going to come up in a minute to introduce some of the other folks that are going to be speaking in the upcoming minutes. But I know, we have a pretty tight agenda, but if you do, we have, I believe, Marlene and some others possibly moderating the Zoom chat. So if you have any questions or any thoughts, feel free to pop them in the Zoom and our people try to respond to those questions in a promptly manner. So, yeah. Okay. I'll catch. Hey, Paul, while we get this started, do you want to kind of share something about yourself and maybe show us the crowd there in LA?
Sure. I was just taking the moment to welcome everybody here in LA. I'm Paul Hemstreet. I'm here at Exceptional Minds. A big shout out and thank you to Exceptional Minds for letting us be here tonight. You guys see their amazing reels, and we'll hear more of that. Um, I can, we,
Here,
the,
I can show the crowd here. We just go like this. Ready?
okay.
Woo! Whoa! Whoa! Everybody wave!
Hi.
Whoa!
So we got a good house here.
And then you can also in the insert you can see the group. We have to go back to Paul though. We have to go back to the star here.
There we go.
Hello.
Sorry
you
about
go.
that. How are you guys doing over there? Can I talk a little bit more? Are you,
Yeah. We're we can keep the discussion going. We'll figure out the tech stuff. But yeah, we're doing good. How's everyone here doing tonight? I know we got a camera, but yeah, that's pretty. I think a solid round of applause from both ends. Both ends. I know I would ask for one from Zoom, but that might get kind of chaotic if everyone kind of tried to clap on there. Um, but yeah, Paul, while we're still figuring this out, what are you most excited for tonight?
I'm excited. I'm really excited to hear our guests, Matt and Miles, and also one of the great things about this event is to network, to hear what everybody is interested in, to hear project pitches. We have a project pitch here tonight and one there in Irvine. So I'm really excited about that because that's something we'd really like to see and encourage more of, how we can help each other, how we can foster our ideas and lift each other up. So the rising tide lifts all ships.
Yeah, yeah, that I totally agree with all those points. Like I agree, especially the part about, hearing the pitches tonight and everyone's got such a unique voice and we get to hear some of those ideas. So it's gonna be awesome. So I think we got our technical matters all sorted out. So Judy, did you want to come up and introduce?
Well, this is almost like mission control trying to get two places working and everything working so I appreciate all your patience as we deal with this. So we had Josh, my son, and Brad here in the green screen film. We had a bunch of Exceptional Minds videos. We had something from Brainstorm Productions who did a anim, an animation event called Dreams. We had at least one or two of your reels, Alex, for extraordinary characters and a trial by fire. So a lot of things. We can share the the playlist with you after this is over. I just want to do the next. So this is what we're going to do today. I'm going to welcome you. Alex is going to talk a little bit, and then Andrew's going to say a few words. Hopefully Matt will be on, Animat, and talk about the journey to become a YouTube star. So one of the things about creator community is really about enabling you to have your own careers and figure out your own paths. Everybody has their own paths. And so what we're trying to do is demonstrate different paths that people have found, just to see what triggers in you. Then we have Miles Hardy, who's a producer, and Paul is going to talk about our film group, and then we'll break. And the people on the Zoom can maybe chat amongst themselves, and we here in Irvine will get together and chat and also hear one of the pitches. And then in LA at Exceptional Minds, they as well will chat. So you want to go to the next slide. So the mission of the Autism and Entertainment Group is really to increase employment for you all in the entertainment industry. And we do that by convincing companies that hiring neurodivergent folks is a good thing and that you add a lot of value to organizations. We also share with them some of the government programs that I know a number of you have participated in, paid internship programs, et cetera, so that they can see that they can experiment without hitting their payroll. And then what we also do is provide opportunities to help you navigate your own path. So next slide, please. This isn't free to put on this event, believe it or not. We paid for food, we're paying for people's time, we're paying for this venue. So it's really important that you consider joining Autism and Entertainment and paying the $10 a month for membership. Many of you have been able to get it paid for through Regional Center or Department of Rehab, which is a great way to pay for it. And it entitles you to some really fun things. We had what did we do a couple of weeks ago, Brad? We went to the Disney Studios and saw Wizards Beyond Waverly Place. We got to go to this, watch a rehearsal and see the whole studio. And we went to DreamWorks, and we've got an event where we're going to the Warner Brothers Animation Studio in July. So next slide. So I want to introduce Alex Estrella. Alex has been a good friend of ours. He was at the conference. He's our MC for the night. So welcome, Alex.
Thank you. Hello again. You might have seen me just a couple of minutes ago, but yeah, my name is Alex Estrella, and I'll just give a bit more about myself. I know some of y'all already might have heard this at our first creator community meeting back in March, I believe. But I'm on the spectrum myself. I was diagnosed when I was 3 years old and received 5 years of applied behavior analysis therapy. It was kind of during that time that I, found a huge appreciation and passion for movies outside of therapy. And fast forward to when I went to college at UC Santa Barbara, that was something I knew I wanted to pursue, not just as a consumer, but as a producer as well. So I started off making documentaries, short documentaries, which I still make. I've made 6 or 7, and Trial by Fire is my first feature-length documentary that is based on my first short film. And I also am the founder of Blue Star Productions, which kind of like Autism Entertainment. We work to employ and empower those who are neurodivergent like myself. And we have a lot of really cool initiatives coming up as well if you want to talk about them at the end of the meeting. But we also, in addition to creating my own films, we also, want to help produce other films from neurodivergent folks as well. Not necessarily just about neurodivergent content, but about matters that, can range from anything from a horror film directed by somebody who's neurodivergent to a producer who's neurodivergent on a comedy film. But our main thing is we want to make sure that those neurodivergents are not only heard, but are represented in, these above level positions in Hollywood. So that's about my story and my company. I believe, yes. I want to take the time now to introduce Andrew from Exceptional Minds, who are gracious hosts up in Los Angeles. And yeah, let's give it up for Exceptional Minds. So Andrew's going to talk a little more about Exceptional Minds and the awesome things they are doing in the inclusion community. And yeah, Andrew, I'll let you take it from here.
Oh, thanks so much. My name is, excuse me, Andrew, and I am the academic dean here at Exceptional Minds. I've been here about a year. And Exceptional Minds is pretty simple. We're a college for what is going on? Somebody needs to mute themselves. Thank you. I will mute you. Now it works. See that? The power of the mute. Sounds like the start of a movie. Anyway, what was I saying? Oh, Exceptional Minds. So, we have an academy here where we train people in VFX and animation. We have a new Media Arts Foundation program starting in September. So we have 2 full-time programs. One is 1 year long, one is 3 years long. Both of them get you into this world of creating, whether it's through your pictures, or whether it's through your drawings, or whether it's through other means, but it's all through media. It's an exciting world here in LA. And then we have a studio. We have 2 studios. We have a VFX studio and an animation studio. And we employ our graduates. And we have some people here. Raise your hands if you've worked in the studio. We've got 3 here in person who are working in the studio right now. We do work for Marvel Studios, independent projects, all sorts of things. I'm not very good at listing everything, but it's on the website. We also do workshops. If you want to take a workshop, we've got workshops going right now. Go to the website, exceptional-minds.org, and you can look up the workshops. But I have a very special announcement. We have a new leader here, CEO, named Lauren. And Lauren this is her 2nd day in the job. Lauren, come up and say hello.
There I am. Hello. So nice to see everybody, meet everybody, and I'm excited by this conference or whatever you're calling it.
Creator community.
The creator community conversation. So it is day 2 for me, and I've met a lot of people in the community as well as within Exceptional Minds, and I couldn't be more excited by the work that we're all doing. So yeah, it's so nice to meet everybody.
Thank you. Now, because we're a creator community, do I have time to show a 3-minute animation from our studio, fresh, brand new?
Yes.
So this little bit of animation is by a graduate named Jacob. It's part of our IP projects where the person in the studio, the graduate will pitch an idea and then a whole team will work on it. And I think some of those online worked on this. I don't know if anyone here worked on it in this audience. They're working on new stuff. So just let me bring up there we go. I'm going to share my screen. Everybody hold tight.
Sammy. Sammy, Ammy, Ammy.
What?
You look as if something's wrong.
The real question is, what's right?
90-degree angle.
Can't process a single thought. Any choice I have is like a matter of life and death. It's like I'm stuck in some kind of quicksand mental cyclone.
Desdemona! Samuel, enjoying the sit-stand, I see.
Rodney, come sit with us.
I'm content with standing, but thank you.
Oh, I get it.
Witty I am, yes. What's your deal?
What?
Aw, he's just having a little bit of anxiety.
Just a little? No!
I see.
all my favorite food in there.
Hey, Samuel.
Huh?
What is your favorite food?
Favorite? What do you mean by favorite? Well, like by time of day? Breakfast? Lunch? Dinner? Favorite flavor? Well, like by sweet, salty, spicy, or healthy, junk food, mood food, dessert, like cake, pudding, ice cream. Well, do I like food? Well, yeah, I like food, but I need food. But
What's your favorite food? It's a simple question. What is wrong with you? No one else has this problem but you. It's a simple question, Sam.
What is favorite? Favorite by what metric? Why do you ask? What do you want from me?
You like Mexican food?
Oh, yeah, I do. Quesadilla. Sorry, Rodney.
You stretched my shirt.
Thanks, Des.
Oh yeah, you like Italian food too.
Wait, Italian? What, wait, do I have to choose between Italian and Mexican now? Wait, but like by dish, flavor,
that's my cue to get
texture?
out of here.
Oh, I thought I already had a favorite food. I just got the 90-degree angle joke.
You get a 90-degree angle, and you get a 90-degree angle, and I can also do an acute angle, but all the angles I do are cute.
I'll say. Well, look at me. Meanwhile, I've been the obtuse one. I hope Rodney doesn't sue me.
There you go, and that was all done by graduates of Exceptional Minds. Sorry about that. Whew. And I now, Paul, will hand it back to you. Thanks so much.
Thank you. That was wonderful. So now, and Judy, if you want to jump in, we are going to hopefully hear from Matt Brunet. Is he on?
Yes, I'm actually right here. Can you hear me?
Yes. Loud and clear.
Perfect. All right. Should I? Oh, crap. Is it my turn? Do I do an introduction?
Yes.
Okay. Well, by the way, my apologies if the background seems a little bit more different. I actually just came out of a restaurant. So I just managed to make the time to go and do this. So hello, everybody. My name is Matt Brunet. On the internet, you may know me more as Animat from the YouTube channel Electric Dragon 505. I've done YouTube videos for over 15 years now. I've done videos, video series such as Animation Look Back that looks into animation history. I've also done Animats reviews or Animats classic reviews in which I would go and, well, of course, review animated films and so on and so forth. And I've also done several videos from top 10s to individual history videos, vlogs, and many, many more, mainly regarding animation, sometimes Disney and the Muppets, but animation has mostly been my thing. So yeah, that's basically a little summary of who I am. Yes. Yes,
Can you
hello.
tell us how you yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, Judy.
Hi, Matt. I
Hey.
wanted you to tell people, did you decide that this was something you wanted to do, that you wanted to be reviewing animations and create a YouTube presence?
Well, honestly, it kind of just fell upon that. I started out when I was a teenager, that I wanted to make videos. I was inspired back in the late 2000 decade. I was inspired by James Rolfe, the angry video game nerd. And at the time, I was inspired also by Doug Walker, who is known as the nostalgia critic, whom they provided entertainment through talking about media. And I decided to go and try that out myself, despite the fact that I've never had any experience making videos or anything like that. And it was at the time when YouTube and the concept of building a career off of making videos, it was brand new. So I started out by making my first set of videos, which was Animation Look Back Disney, which was a look back into the history of Disney animation from their very beginnings with Snow White all the way up to the current film at the time, which was The Princess and the Frog. Oh, yeah. What?
I think it works good for you.
Oh, yes. Sorry. Hold on. Just need to do one thing real quick. But yeah, that should go and answer about my origins. And then from there, I decided to go and experiment with reviews where I would go and talk about, I decided to try out reviews, and I started off, funny enough, with The Princess and the Frog when that was released. And then I just continued on from there. And then gradually it grew bigger and bigger and bigger to the point where I started making a little bit of a career off of that. So it started off as a hobby that I enjoy, that it gave me joy. It allowed me to express myself as an animation fan. And then it suddenly became a little bit of a career of mine.
Tell me, Matt, how do you make money? How is this help you support yourself?
Well, the way that I make money is through advertisements. So it's basically ads on YouTube, and then there's also Patreon, in which people would go and support me there, where they would go and do a little bit of a donation every month, or have a little subscription service. In which I would go, they're named YouTube ads, of course. So there is that. So it's YouTube ads, Patreon, and sometimes I would get asked to do sponsorships where I would have like a little bit of a inner advertisement in the video that I would go and present onto YouTube. So those are the ways that I would go and make money there.
I'm going to ask the people in Irvine, is there one person who has a question for Matt? Okay, Matt, Martin, what's your question? He probably can't hear you. Come on up, Martin.
Yeah, come on up, Martin.
Matt, it's Martin, which you know him from. Matt does a web show for us called Afternoons with Animat. That's once a quarter, and one of the people who comes to that is Martin. And Martin, who's a big fan of animation, has a question.
Yes. Matt, can you name your top 10 favorite animation movies?
Oh, that's going to be a tough one. Well, I'm just going to go and try to list off like some that I absolutely adore. So Fantasia is definitely, Walt Disney's Fantasia is my number one. I would also say Zootopia, Spirited Away. I would also say Shrek 2. Let's see if I can think of anything else, like just to go and list down quick. I would also say the Toy Story movies as well. Then there's also, let's see here. I'm trying to think quick. Let's see.
10 is a big number.
Yeah, 10 is a big number. I did give you like a top 5 at the very least.
That's a good start. I'm gonna let people in LA. Paul, is there anyone there in Los Angeles that has a question?
Well, I have a question.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. So I think you mentioned before, Matt, that you like Disney, right? So if you like Disney, what is your favorite Disney movie and why?
Well, like I mentioned before, it's actually Fantasia. Walt Disney's Fantasia is my favorite movie because of how it is such a one-of-a-kind feature. It is very unique with its blend of classical music and animation, and especially all the different ways that it does so, whether it be abstract or whether it be through a narrative like The Sorcerer's Apprentice, or even just like a slice of life thing. So I would definitely say Fantasia.
Nice.
Thank
All
you.
right,
Hey,
we have,
Paul, anyone in LA have a question?
yes, we have Matthew here.
Hello. So what would you say is something that through your reviews that something that almost no one has heard of that you discovered through your reviews that you really liked?
Oh, that's a good question. And oftentimes I would say that is something that I very much, there are times that I really do like. There's one movie, I don't know anybody has seen, but I've talked about it in a top 10 called The Son of the White Mare. It's a Hungarian animated feature, and it's a very psychedelic one, but it is very beautiful. I really love that film.
Son of the White. Interesting.
Matt,
Mhm.
Matt, we'll let you get back to dinner, but just can you
Thank
tell the group how they can follow you, or what if they're interested in learning more about you or watching your shows, what should they do?
If you would like to go and follow me, then the main place you can find me is Electric Dragon 505 on YouTube. You can also find me on social media, whether it be on Facebook, Instagram, or Blue Sky, Matt Brunet or Animat. I also have my Patreon, which is Matt Brunet and Animat.
Matt, thank you so much. Thank you. Let's all hear it for Matt.
Thank you, Mara.
See you later, dude.
All right, thank you, everybody. And until next time, of course, see you later, dudes.
Bye-bye.
Yeah, bye.
right. Bye.
That was awesome, guys. Did everyone enjoy that? Yeah, yeah. Cool. So, all right. So now our next guest speaker, I'll do a little intro before because I think I was muted there with Matt, but it's all good. He provide a good introduction himself. So my next friend coming up is a very experienced producer, narrative and now documentaries, out of Alabama. He also resides in LA as well, but my buddy Miles Hardy is a really talented guy. He's worked on some amazing films as a producer, including I should know the names of this.
King Cobra.
Including King Cobra, among others, and has been in the industry for a long time. We're actually, for those of you who were here earlier, the film that we're making, Trial by Fire, we were actually working on together, and he's been a great mentor, and I'm really excited to have him on today. So let's give it up for Miles Hardy.
Thanks, Alex. Nice to see you. How's everything going for you right now?
Good, man. It's we got a great turnout. We got like 40 people here in Irvine and probably a lot more in Los Angeles and on Zoom. So yeah, yeah, Miles, if you
Awesome.
just kind of want to maybe like dive into your background and share whatever you're comfortable with.
Yeah, sure. So thanks again, Alex, and everybody for having me on tonight. As you said, my name is Miles Hardy. I'm a second generation filmmaker. Grew up in this business my whole life. Since I was basically 5 or 6, I grew up on a set. I was fortunate enough to be part of a family of filmmakers. My mother's a writer, and my father's a movie producer. So I got to see the filmmaking process from a very early age and really dove into that life. And I knew from a young age of like 5 or 6, like I said, that I wanted to be a filmmaker. And since then, I have done a few projects. I've executive produced 3 or 4. I've also done what's called uh, producers rep and helped numerous other people get their projects off the ground, helped them find financing and distribution. And I met Alex through mutual friend, a friend of the program. And we linked up, and as he said, we were working on a documentary together. And that's kind of my filmmaking background. I am neurodivergent. I've grown up with that, being bipolar and having OCD and a few other mental things. So I have had some, ups and downs throughout the challenges of being a filmmaker in the industry, but it's also actually given me a lot of resilience, and that resilience and like grit and determination has really helped me out in my career of being a filmmaker. And I've been able to like use that to an advantage actually. And here we are today, fast forward. So with that said, I don't know. Am I missing anything else, Alex? You want me to talk about anything? Alex? Or does anybody have any questions? I don't really know what else you want me to say here on this part.
Sorry, I was muted, Miles. I didn't. We're
Oh,
good now.
okay.
Um, yeah, but so I just wanted to emphasize to everybody here at all our locations. You know, we've had obviously an amazing array of speakers already, and I'm very thankful. But Miles, like he said, is neurodivergent. I just want to, really reiterate that it's like Miles is neurodivergent, and him and I are both living proof of how we can succeed in the industry. And not only succeed, we're collaborating together too. We're using, like Miles said, we're kind of using like that neurodiversity to connect and to really empower us. It's not a limitation, but it's something that's empowering us as filmmakers. So yeah, Miles, I also want to say too, Miles, in addition to being a producer, is also just a really great person when it comes to giving tips and advice to others who are getting into producing, specifically, you know, uh, budgeting, finding out how to get distribution plans. I know it's not for everybody here, so it's a lot different from animation, but it's stuff that, is essential in getting your film made. So yeah, maybe Miles, if you want to go into detail about some of the more like technical things and your
Yeah,
role
sure.
in like actually getting films to the screen.
Oh yeah, yeah, sure. So basically, all like, long story short, it all starts with a concept, with an idea. It doesn't really, matter like, if it's a documentary, if it's a narrative, it's animation, whatever. It all starts with a great idea, a great concept, and putting that concept to like what I like to use for most people is what's called like a lookbook or a pitch deck. That gives everybody in the industry a chance to see what your project's all about. So what I like to do for my projects is get like 10 to 12 pages of a pitch deck and tell that story about like what's the log line, what's like the 1 to 2 sentences that capture the essence of the story, and then a synopsis, which would then go on to be like a longer paragraph or two summary of the story, and then a little bit about the team, the background, and some visuals to really paint the picture of the story. And what I like to do with these lookbooks is a lot of times these gatekeepers who make industry decisions, like agents and financiers and executives at companies who can help get your project off the ground, they're super busy. So a lot of times they don't have time to read a lot. So like these visuals and quick presentations can really help get your project off the ground. So I do that in combination with trying to be a champion of people's projects in the industry. So if somebody has a project and I get on board, I'll do things like make introductions to financiers, studios, and streaming companies, and people who can help put together the project. So like I connect the dots in Hollywood. So I'm behind the scenes, and really I'm behind the scenes of behind the scenes. Like, so, I'm not always on set or anything like that, but I'm making a lot of phone calls, emails. I'm spending a lot of time texting. Like Alex said, I do a lot of mentoring, a lot of guidance. But that might be boring. I don't know. a lot of my things is financial structuring, coming up with the right path to find distribution and to get your project to the most amount of people out there in the world that can be seen. So a lot of times that's stuff that's done before the project even gets to be filming. So that's what I kind of focus on the most is like this very niche of finding money for people, getting distribution, and then at the end, some marketing ideas. So I think somebody had a question though. Let me see what was said.
Uh, oh, one more. I know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think there's a question, Miles. So one more thing. But I have one more thing I wanted you to touch
Mhm.
on before we get into questions. If you could just talk about, maybe King Cobra specifically, and any other films you want to mention, and like, the synopsis and like the awards and recognition they've gotten.
Oh, sure. So, a lot of people don't know about King Cobra, but it was a LGBTQ movie. It was a very timely movie at the time. It was a sensitive project. It had James Franco, who was a big star at the time, and it had some other old stars like Molly Ringwald, Christian Slater, who was doing really well on Mr. Robot at the time. Alicia Silverstone, who a lot of people might know from Clueless. She's like a lot of these cult kind of iconic actors from the 80s and 90s. And then we had somebody named Keegan Allen, um, who was really popular on a TV show. So we had a really intimate project that was based on a real life crazy rip from the headline story. We ended up taking our project and got into Tribeca Film Festival, and we ended up winning the audience award for the best film that year. And we got into a nice distribution bidding war. And I was working with a company, I don't know if anybody knows, but they're called CAA. They pretty much make every project. They represent basically all the actors, writers, directors, any big person you can think of. They kind of represent. And I worked with them. And we were able to find a meaningful distribution deal. We got it on Netflix. It streamed for 2 years on Netflix. Now it's seen on IFC, which is an independent darling. And then globally, you can still see it on Netflix. But yeah, we won the um, audience award. And then another movie I helped work on did end up getting distribution by A24, which is now kind of like the premier internet uh, indie film distribution company and production powerhouse. So basically, if you have an indie movie, you want your movie landed at A24. That was with um, Andy Garfield and Riley Keough, who's Elvis's granddaughter. And right, Andrew Garfield was in Spider-Man for a while. He was Spider-Man at one point. Yeah, and then we've done some other ones. I've done some cool other things that have been behind the scenes, helped raise money for um, no animations, but help raise money for music licensing deals and all kind of other little fun things. Another one went to South by Southwest, and then the one that me and Alex are doing, I hope that that gets into like South by Southwest or Sundance, and I hope that you guys all watch it one day because it's a really cool project. I don't know if he told you about it, but it's about inmate firefighters who are battling fires in California and Los Angeles, and that whole dichotomy of the enslaved prisoners helping the free out. And it's a really cool, powerful story. And then there's a couple other little projects I'm working on. Can't say too much about them just for confidentiality reasons, but have had some nice recognition. Was able to get some things in the variety and deadlines of the world, industry papers and trades. But it has been a journey, and it does take a toll. And I would say like one of the main things is just the grit and determination. There's really no right or wrong way to do it, but through perseverance and just purely sticking it out and just continually to show up like over and over. If you just keep working your butts off and you just show up and you just keep working, like you're gonna outperform people who just, phone it in or just say they want to do it. If you have an opportunity to get in front of someone, take advantage of it. And what I used to tell Alex and a few months back was just be prepared because you never know when you're going to meet somebody. And always practicing your craft, and it is a craft, and it's something you can get better at, and you that's pretty much where I'm at. You want me to take
That's
any
awesome.
questions now, Alex, or?
Yeah, let's see. We have any questions here in Irvine? Not at the moment. Should we check in with Paul in LA if there's any questions there?
There's some in the chat.
Yeah, I don't think we have any lined up right now, but I see somebody asked in the chat and wanted to ask you, Miles, what's the best
Yep.
place people can find you? Where can they find you? Where can they reach out to you? Are you on LinkedIn or?
I don't really do LinkedIn. I'm on IMDb Pro, but if you want to go on Facebook or Instagram, it's produced by Miles. I am on there on both Facebook and Instagram. It's just the handle produced by Miles. I'm not as active. I used to be pretty active on Instagram, but I do check it. I just don't post a lot on there right now. And someone said, would you want to make a Marvel super movie one day? Absolutely, Christian. I would love to make a Marvel superhero movie one day. I actually love Marvel movies. Like, I've been watching them a lot lately. They're just fun to watch. I just watched the Captain America one with on Disney Plus. I watched it. That was amazing. I thought that was a great movie. I think they're fantastic and really well made. So yes, yes, to answer your question.
Cool. Do we have? Oh,
Too many roles. Hey, Miles, thanks so much for being here. I wanted to ask you, what's the
Mhm.
biggest mistake that you see people make? Like kind of, oh, God, they shouldn't have done it that way. Do you see a lot of that, or is that?
I find a lot of people think just in general, like, that's a good question. I think I know what you're getting at, but a lot of people think that their project is uniquely different or uniquely special to them, which to themselves it might be. But what I find is that a lot of people think that if they just had the money, or that someone would just understand that if they just, got who I am as a person, that my movie would get made. But at the end of the day, what I think people need to understand really is that it is called like the entertainment business. And so at the end of the day, like this is a business. So being prepared on the business side and understanding what green lights projects is like very imperative to like getting movies made. Because at the end of the day, or a project in general, the entertainment business, at the end of the day, if you can understand the business side of it, it'll allow you to create your project that much more effective than others. Because if you can structure your project in a way that resonates with the buyers and the investors, it's just a lot less um, of a chance, or a lot more of a chance that you can get your project off the ground. And just understanding it alone that it's a business, I think, is a good thing. That people need to make money, because if you don't make money on your project, then you probably won't get to make another one again. So I think that's a good lesson to learn, is that it is a business.
just to piggyback off of what Miles said, because we've been collaborators for a while now, is that I think everyone in this room, anybody who's attending the meeting wherever you are, is whether it's a documentary, where it's an animation or a narrative, don't be afraid to kill your babies. Essentially, there's the project we're working on right now. I came up with the concept back in 2018, right? And like I had this crazy idea of like everything, every shot, how it's supposed to be laid out and whatnot. And essentially we had some discussions, and in a polite way, Miles was just like, yeah, that's not going to work. So don't be afraid though. I mean, it is hard when you spend that many years like really perfecting a concept or an idea, but don't be afraid to hear feedback, and don't be afraid to kill that baby, because when I know it's gruesome, but when you know, you stab that baby a bunch of times, it might actually turn it out into something even better than you had anticipated. And that's the coolest moment when you think of something, you know, whether it's in the lookbook phase, whether it's in the editing phase, when you're like, oh my God, like I didn't even think of that when I originally came up with this concept, and this is way cooler than I had ever envisioned. We're kind of at a point with our film right now where, you know, we kind of have that like aha moment, if you will. And is when you have
Yeah.
those aha moments that you realize like, okay, I'm glad I took the feedback. So
And also on that, Alex, like something I wanted to mention is when I first came into the industry on my own, it's very hard to like hear rejection or to hear that your idea might not be as awesome as you think it is. But the cool part is that you can hear this feedback and you can take it however you want because at the end of the day, it's still your project. But it helped me develop thick skin, like the repetition of showing up to meetings and pitches and meeting and collaborating with a lot of people and just constantly networking and trying to figure out what works and what doesn't is really beneficial. So like showing up to these events like this tonight is really powerful. Like, cause you'll never know who you're gonna meet or what it could lead to, and just purely being ready and your with the information that you have about your project is very helpful. And just to like really take that home, but like developing thick skin and understanding like people are gonna say no and just don't take it personal and just keep moving on. It doesn't mean that they're right or wrong. It's just their opinion. And the quicker you can learn and accept that, the easier it is to kind of move on and tread in that deep end because there are a lot of sharks out here in the entertainment business, and you have to learn how to maneuver. And if you can just understand that it's a business, but it is a collaboration, and like Alex said, like you never know where it'll lead. Because I think he had one vision in his mind, and we came on board and we decided to go a different route. And I know he probably struggled with that for a little bit, but I think ultimately it turned into something very powerful right now. And I won't speak on, you know, your behalf, Alex, but I think that's how it turned out. And yeah.
yeah, thank you for the kind words, Miles. And yeah, I think we're about wrapped up on time there, but thank you.
Sure.
Let's all give it up for Miles Hardy.
Thank you guys. Appreciate it. Thanks, Alex.
And for anybody who's interested, I can have Judy in the text, or Miles, maybe if you want to do it, if you're able to just on your end real quickly, like in the chat, put your social media handle if people want to follow you.
Yeah.
Cool. Cool. But yeah, let's go for Miles. And we're going to now we're going to transition to the next part of the agenda, which is Paul, I believe, is going to come up and say a quick few things about autism and entertainment.
Hi, everybody. I'm Paul Hemstreet, and just to give you a quick little background, I worked as Senior Vice President of Creative Content for Warner for over 23 years and had the amazing experience to work doing behind-the-scenes documentaries and stories about the Harry Potter films, the DC Comics films, and the great Warner classics. And I have raised 2 adult kids on the autism spectrum, and one of them is an animator. And I became involved in Autism and Entertainment and their mission to help foster the connection between talent on the spectrum and entertainment companies. And in Autism and Entertainment, we have a number of different video projects that we're working on. And we have crews made up of people on the spectrum that produce conference videos. I think a few of you were at our conference at the Skirball Center a year ago. Saw some people when you came in. So all of the Spectrum spotlights, which were focused on people like Danny Bowman, or here at Exceptional Minds, Isaiah Strum. We did a piece on Isaiah. And people that had made their way in this difficult entertainment field. And we shot them with our amazing crews. We also had crews at the conference shooting all the keynote addresses, all the speakers, all the panel discussions, and promotional videos. And we've shot, since then, different videos with our partners, our educational partners like Spectrum Laboratories. They had the amazing animation director Jorge Gutierrez come speak there, so we did a video on that. And also Neurodivergent Comedy Night at the Laugh Factory. There's been a few of those now where the Laugh Factory brought in their neurodivergent comics and others that wanted to create a safe space for people on the spectrum to just go out and have a great night enjoying comedy. And we had crews shooting that and created a video about it. We have monthly webinars that we record and edit and post. And all of this is on our website, our Autism and Entertainment website, where if you're a member, you get access to see all this video content. So we're also working on developing work for hire projects with outside groups, different companies, different outlets, and we're currently working on a segment for a PBS show called A World of Difference, Embracing Neurodiversity. And this is available on the PBS app if you have that. It's in Florida, it's local in the Southeast, but anybody can view it nationally. And this piece on Danny Bowman that we're producing with our crews should be available in the season 6, which will debut in September. Let's go to the next slide. So we're building opportunities for neurodivergent crews in all these different areas: camera, DP lighting, sound, still photography, production design, production assistants, video editors, graphic design. So tonight, if you want to reach out to me and tell me what area you're interested in, I'd love to hear it and get your name in our database. You can also find me on LinkedIn, Paul Hemstreet, and you can reach out to me with any questions or through the Autism and Entertainment website and Autism and Entertainment Facebook or LinkedIn page. One of the great things with our videos is we take advantage where we can of funding. Ikea, you have a quick question, or do you want to? Yeah, I think.
Just mute.
Yeah, I'm going to mute you. I think that got rid of it. Okay, we're good. So there are opportunities for you to get paid for your work on these videos. Like the PBS A World of Difference video didn't have a very big budget, but the crew that we used was able to leverage through the California DOR and the paid internship projects through the DDS. So we got to get them paid through this state funding for their hours on the project. So that's a great help for us to be able to make the content and for you to be able to earn money doing it. Let's go to the next page, please. So, for instance, a case study, Jillian Gradjack is pictured here. Last summer, we did the Spectrum Spotlight with Danny Bowman, and that was featured at the Comic-Con International Film Festival. I'm excited to share as well the piece we did on Jorge Gutierrez going and visiting Spec Labs has been accepted in this year's Comic-Con International Film Festival, and Julian was the editor on that, and Josh Copeland, whose video on the green screen you saw at the beginning, he was the cameraman on it. So Julian, the piece went in the San Diego Comic-Con. That same piece on Danny Bowman went into the Tokyo International Short Film Festival, the Kids First Video Festival, Reflections on Disability Festival, which I believe was in Greece, although I might be mixing up. And it was also part of the Planet Classroom Network. So we're excited to have this content reach a wider audience. And if you can go to the next slide. Here is the Spectrum Spotlights that I mentioned. You can see Isaiah third on the right. We have Dominique Brown, who is, you may know from Spectrum Laboratory. Alex Estrella here was featured in one of them, of course. David Manuel works for Ubisoft. and Jimmy Bordeaux is a graphic designer. So we hope to do more of these. We're looking for grants to be able to do more Spectrum Spotlights. We're looking to take advantage where we can with our educational partners and try to expand our crews. And when we can, integrate people to help us in those projects. So if you have any questions right now, please feel free to ask or come up and find me afterwards. Thank you. And next, I think, Alex, unless you have some questions on that side, we can.
So yeah, thank you, Paul, for sharing that. And yeah, it was super cool to be featured the Spectrum Spotlight along with Danny and some other amazing folks. So I just wanted to, I know we've been kind of going at it for a while, so I kind of wanted to bring us all up here and see if there were any questions or comments from, anybody in Zoom, type in, or anybody here in Irvine or LA. Just want to check in, see if anyone had any thoughts. Hey, yeah, do you want to come up here? Sure.
There's a lot of opportunities, but where do we start? Are they found in the Autism Entertainment website and stuff? Because I just became a member in like April or something during the first creator meeting. So it's like I haven't done too much yet, but I was more like I want to listen to this and then see where I can branch off. But it sounds like there's a lot of things in the making, but like I don't, yeah, know where they are.
Yeah, it's a Paul or Marlene. It's a really good question. I think that's part of why we're here today. Is a lot of the opportunities can be created by you all, and so in the second hour, we're gonna let you guys talk and meet and maybe find some opportunities. Contact Paul, follow up on things. So, Paul said, hey, we're looking for people to help make films. Let us know if you're interested. Get involved with programs. We have 20 educational partners. And so many of them have studios or get involved in their educational programs. I saw Brad did a radio show just a couple weeks ago with AFA Hub. So you want to talk about some of your experiences. So George, it's a good question, and you just have to jump in, and it's not going to be a full-time job right away, but you got to get the exposure and you got to meet other people. So Brad's, on his journey.
Yeah, I just kind of jumped at every opportunity I've had. I pay attention to emails. I try to network with my teachers. Definitely communicate with your teachers. Let them know what you're interested in doing, and you'll network and find your way, and more stuff will keep happening. That's been my experience so far.
Yeah,
I want to
Brad's
just
done
jump
films
in
with
and
Josh. Yeah, go ahead, Paul.
just want to jump in and say Brad has been on our crews for several of our shoots. He was on the Jimmy Bordeaux shoot for the Spectrum Spotlight. He was on our Danny Bowman A World of Difference shoot. He was on our crew for Alex Estrella Spectrum Spotlight. He was on our conference video.
And that was me in the Josh Copeland, the green screen movie. That was me.
Yeah, so
Owen Wilson, Wes Anderson, Josh.
Right.
that's another thing too. I want to just point out that Brad does many different things and nurtures his acting, the camera. When we did with Danny Bowman for The World of Difference, he was doing shot continuity and just helping out where he could. So he's just been developing a lot of different skills, which is really great to see.
Yeah, like Marlene, thanks a lot for that. Marlene, you've been a part of enabling a lot of people on their journeys. You want to kind of tell some stories there? About like Tyler and you're muted, so you have to unmute.
I'm actually here at Exceptional Minds, lurking in the kitchen. So, I'm causing the echo now. Hello, everyone. I don't know. Should I go up front? Okay, sorry. Okay, I'm just hold that thought. Hello and goodbye.
All right, Marlene's going to work her way up. I also wanted to just mention as Marlene's walking up here, that the Autism and Entertainment website has more and more information. More information is going to be coming on the website from what our educational partners are doing, special events around their activities, our business partners, which we are growing, and it's a good place to get ideas, other networking opportunities.
Hi, everyone. Thank you for being here tonight. And thank you, Judy, for inviting me to participate as you always do. I work with Autism and Entertainment in Orange County Asperger's Support Group as PR maven, marketing, I call it special projects because I've been known to just invent projects with people and put them out there in the universe if the mood strikes me or a friend of mine. A frequent partner in crime who's not on Zoom tonight, but his name is Rob Kuttner. And he came to Autism and Entertainment, the conference last year through God's Gang, which was one of our exhibitors. God's Gang is a YouTube animated series that got some space at our exhibit floor, and they've been a great partner, and Rob is the head writer on God's Gang, and he just really took to our cause like a duck to water, and he and I have just initiated some freelance stuff on our own, and not for pay, just collaborating with people who are interested in getting the experience. We've done some videos that have gone low-key viral. So we did a funny talk back to RFK Jr. video with Dominique Brown was in it. Alex Estrella, who's our host for this evening, he was a contributor on camera for that. And also Morgan Janae, who is an influencer on the spectrum who lives in Florida. And then God's Gang has also come forward with paid acting jobs for some of the folks in our community. So Judy referenced Tyler Berman. He's a voiceover actor who's in our membership, and he has a paid role on the God's Gang series, totally through Autism and Entertainment and Rob Kuttner and Atticus Baldwin. He's also a paid actor on God's Gang, and Kathy McCauley, who is the voiceover teacher at Spectrum Laboratory. So I'm just kind of a maniac on LinkedIn and various other social platforms, and I'll crash parties and invite myself to places where I'm not necessarily wanted. But you can benefit from that. You can benefit from that in the comfort of your home.
Yeah, thanks, Marlene. I think what's really important is that you're trained. So it's not just about, I want to be an actor, I want to be a star. You need to do the work. So you need to take classes, you need to maybe find one of the educational partners and do the work, because it's not just going to happen. You have to get your talent honed so that when you're called upon, you know what to do. It's not, so there's training and preparation, hard work and determination, and luck.
Yes, and also
And it's
just
a combination of all of that, and networking and connecting. Okay, yeah, question. Don't be shy. Your name is? Monica's here.
So I've been in the business for 30 years, and I'm not legacy. I got in on my own. And from that 30 years, I've had mentors. So my question is, does Autism and Entertainment offer any kind of mentorship? Because that is important besides just networking. I know you understand that.
Yeah.
So, and I still have mentors, and I still I am in production. I do payroll actually for film and television. So,
Monica, that's a really good question. And there's a long list of things we want to do, and mentors is definitely on it. Some of the things we wanted to do was this. We want to do another conference. One of the things we're going to do fairly soon is we're going to have a business directory on our site for the educational partners who hire you guys to try and help stimulate the market. We have a LinkedIn group that you should join for Autism and Entertainment, which is how you guys can connect to each other and how people who are looking to hire can go to that LinkedIn group to find it. But I agree, mentoring is important. We're making connections, and I think that in time we'll be able to put it together. But, you know, if somebody wants to help us, the two things that we lack at Autism and Entertainment are money and time. Because you're seeing at least 3/4 of the Autism and Entertainment team here. And, you know, with Paul and Marlene, and we have the folks at Zavicon, we have quite a few people, but we need help. So if you're like Monica, if you wanted to help us put something together, we could do that. So it's time and it's money, which is why we're encouraging people to join, because we're still in the red. We're still in the red. We're not quite break even. Every month we pull out of savings and we don't have that much in our savings account. So that's, of the people who are attending today, maybe a third of you are members and the rest of you are eating our candy for free. So please do join. Please do join, because the more people who join, the more money we'll have, which will in turn allow us to maybe hire some of you and have more time. So anyway, that's the answer to your question, Monica. But I think that the educational partners are really important, because a lot of them do mentoring. Like we see people at Exceptional Minds or Spectrum Labs or Brainstorm, these programs, the people that are working there, like Andrew over there at Exceptional Minds, they're all industry experienced people and do a lot of mentoring. It may not be the answer you're looking for, but it's the truth. Oh, Andrew, is Andrew still there?
He's here.
Yeah. Andrew, you want to tell us about your background?
Me?
Yeah.
My goodness.
Yeah, Andrew, we want to know Andrew Ainsworth up close and personal.
Actually,
tell us about your career, Andrew. What did you do before Exceptional
I'll tell you
Minds?
that. You know what? I started out in science. I was really good at math in high school. I did a year of chemical engineering at a very big school in Canada, and then I quit. Because I didn't like engineering. And then I went to agricultural college, and I have a degree in agricultural science. And I won the parasitology award in the department. I was very good with parasites. Anyway, long story short, I had a professor when I was doing my science degree. We had to take a arts class, and he was a Jesuit priest who would go to the Cannes Film Festival every year, and he was a film reviewer up in Montreal. And I had never really thought about English or anything, and he said, I want you to go to a movie every week and write about it. So I went to a movie every week and wrote about it, and he allowed us to write however we wanted to write. And in high school back in the 70s, or actually 80s, English was slightly regimented. You had your books that you read, and it was not taught in the best way. So I didn't really understand what English was from English class. But I understood, and I didn't understand by default what writing was because of the English class and the curriculum. And then through this class, I understood what writing was, which is writing was just a form of expression. And if you allowed yourself to express yourself in the way that you felt most comfortable, it worked out. And actually my writing impressed them. And he said, "Ooh, you're a good writer." I said, "Oh, really?" I was terrible in English, but it turned out that I could write because he allowed me to be creative. I was, I guess, creative, which I think I am, which we all are, which is just a question of bringing it out. And so I applied to film school. I went to the University of Texas at Austin. Big about face, did a master's degree and did film production. And when I was there, a little bit of film history for all of you all. In my first semester, year at the semester end screening, we're all sitting there in this English auditorium, and the films come up from year 1, year 2, year 3, and the master's students. You listening, Matthew?
Yeah.
This film comes up from year 1, fall year 1, first freshman guy, and the whole place goes crazy. It's got a little bit of an animation in the beginning, and then it's live action black and white reversal film for the rest of it. It is Robert Rodriguez's first film, Bedhead. And Robert Rodriguez was a hand-drawn animator on the side and also a great filmmaker. And he went on to do Spy Kids franchise and all these big movies. And he was actually a great inspiration for all of us because he did all of his own stuff. And it's interesting, sorry Judy, I'm going on and on. The point being is that we sort of come full circle. He was shooting, editing, lighting, even acting back in the late 80s, early 90s, when people were sort of thinking about doing that. But now it's come full circle where we can do pretty much everything. Not saying that we don't need crews, but we can do a lot in our own homes, in our own computers, with all the tools that we have. So, and then eventually I got into filmmaking, blah, blah, blah. In Canada, I directed kids television, 3-camera. And then I started teaching, and I became a better teacher than a director. And eventually, I just liked teaching. So then I ran a film program or two. And when you teach, you're stuck with this academic schedule of starting in September. And you can't take holidays. So I decided, Lily, don't fall asleep. This is very important stuff. I had to get into administration in order to take holidays in September. So now I'm the Dean of Exceptional Minds. Judy?
So,
Andrew, you did work in television, right? You said you worked in
Yeah,
kids television.
I've worked in television, worked in post-production. I've done everything. I've shot film.
Okay, thank you. Alex wants
So-
to say something.
yeah, Monica, I think that was actually a really great question because, with Blue Star Productions, obviously, we work very close with Autism Entertainment. And one thing we're piloting this fall at Blue Star Productions is not necessarily a mentorship program per se, that's not the title of it, but it is going to be a seminar series in which we have some really heavy hitters who are not only in the industry, but are neurodivergent themselves, who are going to be leading seminars right now. Myself, I'll be leading a seminar in directing, specifically documentary directing. We have a leader who is going to be doing a composing seminar, somebody who is very close, might or might not be attending this meeting. We have somebody who's going to be leading an animation seminar, again, a name that might have come up during this meeting, and also somebody who's going to be leading a social media influencing seminar. So if anybody, whether that's here in Irvine, online, or in LA wants to learn more, feel free to contact me. But really, to go back to your question, Monica, with these seminars, we hope that, when we have this pilot of 4, and we really hope that those can kind of provide those like mentorship opportunities to people who want to, who are on the spectrum, who want to learn more about composing, directing, animation. In the future, we hope to have seminars in screenwriting, in acting. So those are, that's just something, opportunity down the line.
I just wanted to add, we've applied for several grants. So one of the grants we applied for, we put in for 3 different things. One of them is to pay for this, creator community. The second is to help Paul expand his film group, but the third is for an ambassador program. And the ambassador program has two different pieces. One is we want to bring in people from the industry to act as ambassadors, because there's people that know the game business, and there's people that know the toy business, and there's people that know animation or television, and they're all different worlds. You know, they're in the same universe, but they're all different planets. And so we feel like if we have, but they're going to all the conference, they're connected. And so if they could represent us, we think that'll help us expand. The second part of the ambassador program is for you guys. And what we want to do is expand our presence at trade shows. Trade shows and expos are an important place where people connect. And we want to build an army of autism and entertainment individuals who can be trained about networking and go to these conferences and work the floor and tell the autism and entertainment elevators pitch, but also tell your own. And it's through making those connections that you never know what's going to happen. Marlene is like the expert at making these connections and having them bloom into something else. So learning how to network, learning how to connect is, so if we get this grant, which is a grant through NBC, and we'll find out in August, that'll pay for that. The second grant that we applied for is, we're here in Orange County, and Sam Welly Foundation has a grant opened, and we put in for $100,000 to pay for another autism and entertainment conference. So we will hear about both of those grants in August, and that will help us with at least the money part of the two things that we're lacking, which is time and money. Okay. Should probably take a break, Paul, but I want to thank you guys in LA, and thank you guys on Zoom.
Thanks. Yeah, thank you, everybody.
Thank you. I want to also thank our volunteers. We have Devin Morrissey here, and we have Kevin Chang in Irvine.
Yeah, and we have Josh Copeland here, and we have Paul Gilbert here, helping us with video and cameras and all that kind of stuff. And then, of course, there's Marlene, Marlene, are you going to stay on with the Zoom for a little bit and see what's going on out there?
Yes.
Yes.
I'm here and ready to go. Oh, and also causing echoes. Sorry about that. Oh, I'm at my laptop now. So anyway, I'll see you when we do our networking on Zoom.
Okay.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.
Bye.
Oh, Andrew has a quick.
Judy, you guys should come back here. Do this again. We're open.
That would be great.
Okay?
Good. Thank you so much. This was so awesome of you guys to volunteer. We really appreciate. It was a little bit last minute, and so they responded. So thank you, our friends at Accept.